can't believe I had to erase that whole thing. Because I made some fun points. But I think that when I'm tired and I start ranting, it just always goes downhill. If you want to know what you missed, a good way to describe what happened is the word effluvium. Just think of the word effluvium and leave it at that. So in case you're a nutter butter and you want to know why I'm doing this, I'm tired and my butt is up my brain. So because there's a brain in my butt and a button in my brain, everything has just completely gone downhill. And it's looking mighty appealing to just roll down some stairs for a couple of hours. So instead, I'm just making this very short, brief little video, just a little baby video to do my daily so that YouTube doesn't throw me down the stairs. Because YouTube is just always right behind you, ready to throw you down the fucking stairs, going, you should have made content that day. You should have not said the word effluvium. Like, I'm making jokes about this, but some of the topics I brought up in that video were shit. Man, what's wrong with me? Like, this is like the second time in a fucking row that I've had a video that I've just completely scrapped. There's like, I could have salvaged it, but it would have been so much work. And I don't want to make it. I don't want to do work, mommy.
Daddy! They make me edit my videos!
I don't wanna.
Tenno, be on the lookout for
I'm such a whiny baby. I'm such a whiny baby. Which is what they call the yeens. But yeah, I kind of want to talk about it because it is kind of weird that this keeps coming up. I think it's because I'm distracted. But yeah, essentially I scrapped the videos because I really genuinely feel that while the video itself is not like the worst shit I've ever produced, I do want to avoid certain topics and things. I do want this to be a safe space where, generally speaking, if I do mention mature topics, it is within a certain confine. It's within a certain, like, limit and restriction. Because I just start stammering and shit comes out like a diarrhea butthole, and it's just, I don't know, man. I'm not afraid of YouTube. I'm not worried about the YouTube being like, oh, you're gonna lose all your money now. Nyah, you found me. My actual concern lies with the fact that some people might be off-put by the content, and they'll legitimately think worse of me as a result of that. And while I'm not like the most, like, I want everyone to love me, I do want to present myself in a reasonable fashion. Where if someone were to find this online and they were planning to hire me, I could be like, well, it's not so bad, is it? It's not so bad. It's not so bad. So yes, to some extent, I do take some modicum of quality control. I do feel bad because I do raise some interesting questions and points, but they are just not for this channel. And I think a big mistake so many fucking YouTubers make is that, like, I think this is a good point to be making, so I will make this point regardless of its applicability or compatibility with my channel. I don't like that. This is my channel, I do whatever the fuck I want, but there are certain constraints in which I want to operate. There's a difference between being a cooking channel and suddenly talking about, here's this cool watch that promotes me, and having this random watch video and not wanting to mention certain topics because even though you put up whatever the fuck you feel like, there's a certain limit and constraint in which you operate because you think that that content is going to reflect negatively on you or your channel in a way you don't want it to, because you want to emit a certain aura, because you're curating a certain environment. I don't know, I just think it's an underappreciated thing. I think too many people just don't care. Like, I don't care. The irony is, the fucking, the gall, the balls on this boy is that I am the same guy who just does whatever the fuck I feel like, and I start making these judgments calls. That is weird, but it comes down to the fact that, again, I feel that there are certain constraints that I need to keep myself to. Because if I don't keep myself to those constraints, this channel is going to go downhill and someone's going to blackmail me with it. And neither of those scenarios is all that beneficial. Like, I don't want this to be a blackmail source. But more importantly, I want this to be a place with a certain type of aura, presentation, a certain type of love. I want us to be an environment where people can kiss butts and eat bananas without being worried about the situation at hand. Kissing butts and eating bananas, though, is a remarkably specific use case scenario, and you gotta be careful with those. But yeah, I genuinely made that decision because I feel that if I were to upload that, it would make me look like an asshole. I was doing it out of self-preservation, which is kind of shooting myself down because, again, it would have, like, here's the thing. That is the video I upload for that day. This is kind of what I really want to get down to. That is the video I'm uploading for that 24-hour segment, or until whenever the hell I make the next video. Which means that for that period of time, there's this one video that is super awkward to watch. And if you don't want to watch it, it's like, oh, great. This guy who's random garbage I like a lot doesn't make random garbage today. And I'm like, okay, that makes me sad. Like, I'm not here to please the fans, but I do not want to create that scenario where it's like I'm uncomfortable watching this. And it's not something that you should man up about and be a fucking adult about, you know? Like, if I straight up start talking, like, some of the topics I mentioned were just in very poor taste, and I feel terrible for making those jokes, and so I don't want those jokes out there, you know? Because some people would be genuinely insulted, feel bad, or experience negative emotions as a result of that video. I don't want that. I will tell you to suck it the fuck up, but I don't want to be the cause of you needing to suck it the fuck up. There's a subtle difference that really only exists in my very specific mind. We call it the double standard. And it's a beautiful way to make everyone look like an asshole but you.
Diddy. Everyone's an asshole but me.
Why is that, little Billy?
No reason.
The double affinity thing is neat and all, but I don't know. I got a double prosecutor. That was really cool. I got a double prosecutor, and I never got to show it off because it's gone. It was a fire and an ice, and I had my fire weapons. I was like, oh man, I'm gonna kick your butt. Oh man. I'm probably gonna go on. I want to go on the tangent right now because and basically make this unusable content, even though it's late and I really need to get some fucking video. Didn't have time elsewhere today because I was doing a lot of volunteer work. I was trying to earn some fucking karma points. Oh man, it was some heavy fucking volunteer work. Jesus Christ. Did you know it's really did you know human beings are extremely heavy because they are bags of water? I learned that because I get to push someone around in a wheelchair for a long period of time over a non-flat, non-even road. Like, not to butt down the guy who just wants to have a good time and pretend to be a normal person. But, I'm not, listen, I want to recontextualize that sentence. I'm not saying people that are in wheelchairs are not normal people. This is a very specific use case in which I'm using that term in that specific context because it is actually applicable in that fashion. The people I deal with are not sitting in a wheelchair just because they can't walk, is what I'm trying to say here. These are people that require a little bit of extra attention, and being extra nice to them and making their day just a little bit more special is important, because this is like this is their special moment, you know. And what kind of asshole would I be to take him down? I love the fact that on the way back, on the fucking way back, the guy I was pushing was like, I don't want to, you know, I don't like this. And it's like, well, the lady behind, next to us, who was like in a fucking little mobility scooter. It's like, why are you so upset? And it's like, well, I don't want to be outside anymore. And it's like, we specifically got this extra guy to help out so you could carry you around. And now you're like, I don't want this? It's hilarious. Yeah, but what we do is I just push I push a guy around. We clean up the local park a little bit. We clean up after the actual municipal workers, the idea being that the municipal workers can't really catch everything, so they get a little bit of extra help from us. Although apparently it's a contest to see who cleans up the best. Naughty, naughty. I like the idea behind it, though. It's kind of cute. It's a nice idea. And hey, if you clean up a little bit, like, holy shit, those fucking kids throw away beer cans with like half the beer still in it. But yeah. I'm earning karma points. I'm earning good boy points.
We have everything we can.
If I ever go to fucking hell, I'm gonna tell Satan, I think you're a cool guy, but that's all I got to say to you. Twist it however you want it, Mr. Satan. It's not like my life can get any worse anyway. I don't know. I talked to Como once about potential, like, afterlives, and one of the afterlives I thought up is like, what if you just get to do life again? What if you just enter New Game Plus? And my problem, and one of the big problems is like, okay, what if that happens? Like, how the fuck would your information be correct? Like the second you wake up and become conscious, because after that happens, you instantaneously start altering the timeline. And I was like, oh fucking shit, that's right. Oh my god, even the fucking tech guys aren't immune. Oh, oh, that's too hot. Also hot is the amount of credits I'm earning. Oh, I love credits. I'm a capitalist swine. Ooh. What is... Wait, what? Okay. In my head, it sounded a lot squishier than that. Anyway, that's today's video. Because sometimes I just don't get there. Sometimes you just don't get there. Oh, cool, I maxed out Pox because of the affinity booster. I forgot that an affinity booster just makes you rush through those fucking things. Goodbye.